So, good day, everyone. The first topic of ES19 is all about technopreneurship. So, we will talk about or discuss about its definition, the concepts behind it, and its goals and objectives. So, when we say technopreneurship, it is a combination of two words. These are technology and entrepreneurship. So, let us define what is technology and also, on the later part, the definition of entrepreneurship. So, for technology, it has been defined in a number of ways. But, simply put, technology is considered the knowledge on the means and methods of producing tools, goods, and services. It is comprised of techniques which are used to target a given goal. So, these techniques may be what we call tacit knowledge or core competency. As shown in the slide, the first column shows the tacit knowledge, and the second column shows the core competency. When we say tacit knowledge, it is mainly embedded in people. This is the type of undocumented practical knowledge and experience of people in technical fields which can be difficult to transfer by means of communication. Some examples of tacit knowledge is facial recognition, which we can differentiate a person's face from other people, but we usually cannot tell how we recognize a face we know, so most of this cannot be put into words. Another example is language. We all know that our country is rich in culture and we speak different languages or dialects. Most of us know how to speak English, Filipino, or Bisaya at a young age simply by listening to our surroundings. However, we do not know how this came to be. We are taught later on about the formal and proper grammar. And lastly, which is more related to the field of science and engineering, is the Bessemer steel process. This process is the first inexpensive industrial process for the mass production of steel. The inventor, who is Henry Bessemer, sold his advanced steel-making process patent, but was sued by the purchasers who couldn't get it to work. In the end, Bessemer set up his own steel company because he knew how to do it, even though he could not convey it to his patent users. Bessemer's company became one of the largest in the world and changed the face of steelmaking. The other type of technology technique is what we call core competency. This is essential variable for innovation, which we'll be discussing later on. When we say core competency, it is a dynamic area of specialized expertise that a company can do better than its competitors. This can be through the complex methods involved in technology, work activities, and processes such as keeping unique relationships with customers, research, and development or marketing partners. On the other hand, for the definition of entrepreneurship, currently there is no single definition of entrepreneurship accepted by all in the academic community. It can mean many things to many people depending on the context and particular scientific or technical discipline discussed. But according to the Oxford English Dictionary, entrepreneurship is defined to be the activity of individuals who attempt to profit by risk and initiative. So, if you want to open a business or if you want to become a future entrepreneur, you make sure that everything has its own risk and you need to be have this characteristic of having to initiate of opening a business. And furthermore, these individuals known as entrepreneurs play a significant role in the economic transformation in society, which is an important topic of policy in the context of growth and job creation of the economy. So when we combine these two words, the technology and entrepreneurship, this is what we call technology entrepreneurship, or for short, technopreneurship, which is a particular subfield of entrepreneurship. Similar to entrepreneurship, technopreneurship also does not have a universally accepted definition. However, a generally statement that more or less summarizes all the different definitions can be made. Technology entrepreneurship or technopreneurship is a purposeful and goal oriented process involving scientific, technical, cultural, social, economic, legal, and political situations driven by people, entrepreneurs, and associated members of a technology based organization. So, the technopreneurship involves decision making skills to identify high potential and technology intense commercial opportunities through gathering of resources and managing rapid growth and significant risk. Additionally, it corresponds to the conversion of science and or technology into social economic value through gathering tangible and intangible resources after finding an opportunity for the creation of innovative offerings such as products, processes, or applications. Simply put, technopreneurship involves the exploitation of a new or existing technology which disrupts existing market conventions or leads to the emergence of totally new conventions. As shown here, this is the difference between the market pull entrepreneurship and technology driven entrepreneurship that can be seen in the flowchart. When we say technology driven entrepreneurship, it uses new scientific or technological knowledge, which results in a push for development, eventually leading to a commercially viable outcome, while market pull entrepreneurship depends on the needs of potential customers to prompt the development activity. Here, this is the technopreneurship continuum, which shows the continuous sequence involved in the movement of products to market. So as you can see here in the technopreneurship continuum, it has discovery, invention, innovation, and entrepreneurship. So let us discuss each of some parts of the technopreneurship continuum. First is discovery. When we say discovery, it is actually an essential part in technopreneurship, and this involves deliberate searching the environment for competitive imperfections brought about by external changes as the primary mode of entrepreneurial discovery. It assumes that the imperfections are due to external opportunities caused by changes in technology, society, or the regulatory or political environment. And some examples of these imperfections are the presence of monopolies. On the other hand, an invention requires creativity but maybe from the combination of several innovations. However, it goes beyond coming up with new ideas, combinations of thought, or variations on a theme. An invention focuses on a new, unique product or service which can create new markets or build future oriented corporate narrative based off the invention. A true good invention is something that has can have a social and cultural impact. Some example of invention, which is very famous until now, is computers that can process accounting and world data. Upon its application to almost all offices, school systems start to adapt this, resulting to specializations or changes in the aspects of some specialized jobs. With this, people have more capabilities, thus increasing their profitability and efficiency. This also results to the increase in job requirements for the average professionals. Next, for innovation, it is actually defined as a change that adds value to an existing product or service in response to changes within or outside the market. Not all innovations are purely creative, but according to Peter Drucker, an Australian born American management consultant who is a father of management thinking, identified seven sources of innovation. So, as shown here, we have four sources of innovation. The first one is unexpected, which describes to looking for new opportunities in the market, unexpected product performances. Second, incongruity, which describes discrepancies between what you think should be and what is reality. Third is process need, weaknesses in the organization, product, or service. Fourth is changes in industry or market, which describes the new regulations or and or new technologies. And the other three service are demographics that describes the understanding needs and wants of target markets, changes in perceptions, that is about changes in perceptions of life events and values, and lastly, new knowledge, which talks about new technologies, advancement in thinking, and new researches. As shown in this slide, he is actually uh, one of the famous Filipino entrepreneur or one of the famous Filipino entrepreneurs or technopreneurs. He is actually just just Dado, or his nickname is Dado Banataw, who is a Filipino entrepreneur and at the same time engineer working in the high-tech industry. He is dubbed as the Philippines Bill Gates due to his invention of the two of the foundation technologies in every PC today. What are these two foundation technologies? These are the PC chipset and the graphics acceleration architecture. So innovation implies industry, and it is the means by which the entrepreneur either creates new wealth producing resources or in those existing resources with enhanced potential for creating wealth. And lastly, discontinuities in the technopreneurship continuum may occur as little changes for a long period of time due to incremental technical improvement. However, large discontinuities occur when there is a radical advance in technology, which may greatly impact the business. So there are actually two types of discontinuities, namely competence destroying and competence enhancing. A competence destroying discontinuity renders obsolete the expertise required to master the technology that it replaces. And on the other hand, a competence enhancing discontinuity builds on know how already embodied in the technology that it replaces. Next is let's talk about the behavioral patterns characterizing entrepreneurs. These are some characteristics as an entrepreneur. The first is agree that you will get help from others and pay it forward. Realize something by induction and then learn to communicate the story with a new language. Third is if you can't tell, learn to trust others without expecting anything in return. Next is you make deals that seek fairness, which is in positive sum transaction, not advantage or in zero sum transaction. Fifth is it is necessary to be wrong sometimes. Plan to experiment, plan to fail fast, analyze, adapt, and repeat. The smarter you think you are, the harder this is going to be. Next is you need to be diversify with other networks. Connect to people you would not normally then go and listen and open up and connect them to others. Be a role model for other entrepreneurs and innovators. Eight is believe that you can change the world. Nine is perfection is no good, but good enough is perfect. And lastly, it's about collaboration, which is individual versus team and competitors versus partners. And more of these behavioral patterns characterizing entrepreneurs can be found at Berkeley Method of Entrepreneurship paper. Now let us discuss about the mindset of an entrepreneur, which is the entrepreneurial mindset. Having the right entrepreneurial mindset is important in business. This is actually refers to the awareness and focus on identifying an opportunity through solving a problem and a willingness to move forward to advance that idea. It is the lens in which everything in the world is considered in light of the entrepreneurial business. This kind of mindset becomes a way of life for the entrepreneur in order to achieve their goals and objectives. Due to this, entrepreneurs are known to be forward thinkers. They often plan ahead and are engaged in analyzing possible scenarios or situation and the implications it would have in the business. So instead of having an entrepreneurial mindset, we also have being or having a entrepreneurial spirit. So having a entrepreneurial spirit could mean being passionate, purposeful, positive, bold, curious, or persistent. This attitude allows entrepreneurs to carry a manner of thinking with them each day that allows them to overcome obstacles and to meet challenges. Having an entrepreneurial spirit involves the passion for presenting an idea that is worthwhile and valuable and a willingness to think beyond established patterns and processes. Entrepreneurial spirit supported with passion, vision, and mission can reinforce and lead the entrepreneur on the right track with the next steps for the business. Actually, passion is a critical component of the entrepreneurial process. Without it, an entrepreneur can lose the drive to run the business, especially when there is much negativity around the world. However, passion for the sake of passion is not enough. It must be aligned to the entrepreneur's vision and mission. A clear mission statement which details why the business exists and the objectives for achieving that mission will guide an entrepreneur's passion and keep the business on track. And lastly, we have actually some reminders if you want to become entrepreneurs in the future. You cannot be taught how to be an entrepreneur, but can only be guided. Enjoy the challenges. Innovation is the key, and technology is the tool. Differentiate yourself from the rest. Don't be caught up with the money. And lastly, have fun. So these are some reference based on our presentation about the introduction to technopreneurship. So next time, we will discuss about introduction to design thinking process and intellectual property. So thank you everyone for listening.